This video is going to look at the Freedom of Information Act, and like all of these questions on laws in computer science, I would suggest that you take a look at some of the longer answer exam questions that are available at GCSE and A-level to be able to help gauge the understanding that you need to have on each of these different laws that are in place. Mainly because these aren't so much knowledge-based questions that these are based around. These are normally longer answer questions that you have to be able to write within that about a particular law or act. So the Freedom of Information Act is all about public access to information related to public organisations. So when we refer to public organisations, we are referring to anything that is essentially answerable to the government. So we can talk about the Houses of Parliament, local councils, the armed forces, the NHS, schools, universities, police. The list kind of goes on. What we're not talking about is private companies like Coca-Cola or Nike or Amazon. Those are businesses that are exempt from this because they're privately owned, often privately owned, and they're not answerable to taxpayers' money in that same sense. So it gives a right of access for the public to send in requests to find out information about, it could be data, it could be printed documents, and it's to enable the public to hold these authorities to account for information that maybe would be like to be swept under the carpet, for instance. So the idea being is that you are able to, as a member of the public, request information from one of these public bodies and see exactly what, in some ways, your money's being spent on. The only exceptions to the freedom of information are that information might be withheld because it might be intended for future publication, or it might be alternative withholding if it is a national security risk or it could cause people harm.